York romance you won't want to miss.
I'm not going to.
Okay.
America wants change. America wants solutions. Watch the show that is changing the face of television journalism. The Crusaders. A special team of news journalists who don't just report the story.
That's why they turn to us.
They do something. They get involved. They make a difference. Finally, the solution. The Crusaders.
Saturday, only on WNBC for New York.
This place.
It's the new Burger King Everyday Value Menu featuring the new mouth-watering flame-broiled BLT cheeseburger for only 99 cents. The flame broiling you love with bacon, lettuce, and tomato. Get it and your favorite Burger King foods at new lower everyday prices.
This thing is big.
Check your Burger King for their everyday low prices and try the delicious new BLT cheeseburger for only 99 cents. Value every day. Have it your way.
I love this place.
Check out the Everyday Value Menu for yourself.
Get incredible low prices on Christmas trees now at Harrow's. 3-foot tree, $10. 4-foot tree, $15. 7-foot tree, $39 through Monday at Harrow's.
You're watching WNBC for New York. And now, Sue Simmons, Matt Lauer, Al Roker, and Len Berman. This is News for New York, live at 5.
Good evening. Lou Young is sitting in for Matt Lauer tonight. The parents of a dead infant are in shock tonight after a stunning courtroom admission.
And Sue, that admission came from the former nanny. For the first time today, Anne Franklin told the court a shocking story of how she killed David and Peggy Dunn's 10-month-old son. Franklin's tearful confession was part of a plea bargain agreement.
No comment at all?
26-year-old Anne Franklin in tears today, having finally told her version of the truth, that she killed infant Kieran Dunn while caring for him in his home early this year. Up until today, she said it was an accident, but in a plea bargain deal, she admitted that the child's death was the result of a sudden violent impulse. The courtroom observers were spellbound as Franklin told how she lashed out at the child after smoking marijuana, all because the baby pulled her hair.
I was standing in front of the crib and I had my hair up. And you pull my hair, and I just went like this with the baby and threw it down.
How far did you throw him? Could you estimate?
It was far. I could not give you exact inches or feet. I mean, like, I don't even remember how big the room was, but I don't remember.
Did you throw him across the room? Is that fair to state?
Yes.
The confession brings a sense of closure to the dead baby's parents, who met reporters immediately after the court session.
I guess we're just taking it one day at a time. We buried our son 9 months ago. Today. And we've been listening to her lies for 9 months. It's some semblance of relief, I guess, to hear her tell her version of the story of how she killed our son.
Franklin was originally charged with murder but pleaded guilty to manslaughter in a bid for reduced jail time. When she's sentenced next month, she could get 8 1/3 to 25 years behind bars. She could have gotten life if she'd been convicted at trial. The case was set to go to trial next month, but the defense folded after the judge said he'd allow prosecutors to argue that little Kieran had been abused by Franklin prior to the fatal incident.
Well, there's more courtroom drama. It involves the horrible case of death on the 533. Colin Ferguson had a day in court. Will his lawyer try to paint Tuesday's rampage as the act of a madman? News 4's Long Island reporter Carolyn Gussoff is live at the Mineola Courthouse. Carolyn?
Well, Sue, Colin Ferguson is back in a solitary cell tonight at the Nassau County Jail after making a brief appearance today in court, an appearance that was marked by unprecedented security at the Nassau County Courthouse. With his hands shackled to his waist and his chest bound by a bulletproof vest, 35-year-old Colin Ferguson made his way into the courtroom amid massive security. Jail officials say there have been threats against the life of the man accused of taking 5 lives aboard the 533 train Tuesday night, and they weren't taking any chances.
Are you Colin Ferguson?
Get it.
In court, Ferguson was assigned an attorney and spoke just one word.
And I've assigned Mr. Anthony Falanga, the gentleman to your immediate right, to represent you. I believe you've met him earlier this morning.
Yeah.
His court-appointed lawyer is Anthony Falanga, who says the first order of business will be a psychological evaluation of the accused mass murderer, already suggesting he'd use an insanity defense.
I think everything that we know to date indicates that it's obvious that a psychiatric evaluation is required and is appropriate.
Several lawyers have told News 4 they too were asked to represent Ferguson but turned the job down. Attorney Falanga accepted the assignment and says an insanity defense would be viable despite characterizations by police that Ferguson planned and executed his rampage and even afterwards mumbled to those who tackled him on the train that he knew he did wrong. A grand jury is expected to hand up an indictment on 5 murder counts next week. An indictment that may also contain civil rights charges against a man police say was motivated by racial hatred.
If a crime is racially motivated, it goes beyond a particular victim. It goes beyond a particular victim to the extent that it goes to the victim's race.
Well, when he is back in court 1 week from today, attorneys say they may have results from that psychological evaluation. The prosecution at that point may also have to hand over to the defense notes from the oral statements that police say Ferguson made to them the night he was arrested. Police say the oral statements are not so much a confession, but rather conversations he had with police that lead them to believe he knew exactly what he was doing. In East Meadow at the Nassau County Jail, I'm Carolyn Gussoff reporting. Let's go back now to you in the studio.
Carolyn, thank you.
Thanks, Carolyn. The families touched and shaken by the railroad massacre must now say a final goodbye to their loved ones. Funerals and wakes are taking place on Long Island. News 4's Jim Paymar has this grim chapter in today's developments.
The family arrived. The friends arrived. The flowers arrived. It was time to pay last respects to 51-year-old James Garicki of Mineola. Mr. Garicki had just begun commuting to Manhattan on the Long Island Railroad recently. Tragically, he was on the 3rd car on the 533 to Hicksville last Tuesday night.
It's devastating. It's very sad.
His neighbor, Vita Lombardo.
It's just a terrible thing for his wife and his child and for all the people that knew him. To have someone taken from them in such a terrible, there's no words to express my feelings.
His friend, Mary Donatelli.
For people to do this to other people, I think it's terrible. It's terrible.
Friends of Jim Garicki are very angry about the way he lost his life.
There should be the death penalty. The Congress, the local laws, they can't do it. They just can't do it. Unless they want to call the federal troops in, or call the troops in and walk the streets. That's what's going to be done eventually if the cops can't handle it.
James Garicki will be buried tomorrow. He leaves behind a wife and a 10-year-old daughter. Also tomorrow at this very same funeral home, there will be another wake. This one for Dennis McCarthy. He too was shot to death aboard train 1256. Jim Paymar, News 4, Long Island.
Now, a fund has been set up to help the victims of Tuesday's tragedy. You can send donations to the LIRR Victims Fund, care of the Long Island Association. The address on your screen here. Their address is 80 Hop Hog Road, COMMACK, New York. The zip code 11725-4495. In addition, the New York Islanders hockey team will be selling autographs and raffling memorabilia to benefit their fund at the next Friday night game at the Nassau Coliseum. They'll also donate $1 for every ticket sold.
The Long Island Railroad tragedy is reopening some old wounds in our society. It is the issue of race. But News 4's Don Williams tells us some leaders are moving quickly to keep any deep-seated hatred from boiling over into violence.
From the carnage of the massacre aboard the 533 rose the scary words of the alleged gunman Colin Ferguson. Words detailing his hate for whites, Asians, and certain blacks. On the day after 5 people were killed and 20 wounded came words that drew criticism from some black leaders. This time, spoken words from Nassau County Executive Thomas Gulata.
The person who committed this crime is an animal who turned that Long Island Railroad car into a death chamber.
Today, he explained what he meant.
And I would have reacted the exact same way to any killer of any race who had wrought such hurt and such incredible pain. Actually, I have greater respect for animals than I do for that killer.
The Reverend Jesse Jackson says he's disturbed by the comment and plans to preach a message of reconciliation in Garden City on Sunday. Carl Rodney, publisher of the Carib Times, called the remark insensitive.
It's unfortunate, clearly unfortunate, and deeply resented by people in the community
And on the streets, the range of answers showed. At best, Gulada's words may simply be a barometer of how far apart we are when it comes to issues of race.
I don't think it's a racial issue. I think if the man was black, he'd be an animal. If he was white, he'd be an animal. If he was Oriental, or if he was any race.
A human being is not an animal. And too many times that term has been used to, in a negative connotation against blacks.
When I was a kid, they used to use a phrase, and it went like this: "Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words can never hurt." But without the words of Colin Ferguson and Nassau County Executive Thomas Gulada, it is likely today we would be talking about a man gone mad who got on a train with a gun and killed and wounded people. Don Williams, News 4, New York.
And yet another mass shooting is sending shockwaves through another community in our area. This time it's Yonkers. News 4's Steve Dunlop tells us the motive was robbery and the holdup was vicious and deadly.
I want to know what happened.
He came here when he got the call that his brother had been shot. So did she.
Your brother was one of the people shot?
Yes. Yes, he is.
What happened?
I don't know. I wasn't up here. I just got a phone call last night that he was shot in a bodega. That's it. In the head and his back. That's about it.
It happened on a tough block that's seen 3 shooting deaths in the past 2 years. 2 men tried to rob this mini-mart using a 9mm semi-automatic, the same sort of weapon that was used in Tuesday's Long Island Railroad massacre. Something went awry, and the shooting began.
We don't have any reason to believe that this was an execution, at least not at this point. Like I said, we have every indication and every reason to believe that robbery was the motive.
Later, police said they could not rule out other possibilities besides robbery. They noted that the area around the mini-mart has been a drug hangout for years. Officials say that overall the crime rate in Yonkers is declining. For Joanna, who's already seen a second brother killed by a gunshot, the statistics are little consolation.
I think they need to put a stop to this gun stuff. I really do. It's killing too many people. Too many innocent people is getting hurt by these guns on the street, and these teenagers killing people. It's just too much. It's too much.
Steve Dunlop, News 4, Yonkers.
Well, coming up on Live at 5, we will lighten things up a bit. Enough to say that you do not want to miss Cindy Adams' scoop on New York's hottest love story. She has all the details. And a governor appointee is charged with leading a violent New York City-based gang. John Miller has the story. If you've ever bounced a check, you know it costs a lot. Are banks profiting unnecessarily from us?
And you know him best as the Phantom of the Opera. Singer Michael Crawford has a new romantic album, and he joins us to talk about it. But first, here's Al.
Well, you're going to love what we've got to tell you, and that is, doesn't look like we've got a bad storm coming. Good news there. As you see on Doppler 4, some rain starting to move in. We'll tell you how much, how long, and when it'll end when Live at 5 continues.
The best leathers cost a lot less right now at Burlington Coat Factory. These beautiful full-length ladies' leather coats are only $99.90. Great-looking men's and ladies' leather bomber jackets are an incredibly low $69.90. Plus, there are thousands of other leather coats and jackets. The finest quality at the low prices that make us famous. Burlington Coat Factory, where the best leathers cost less now.
I got it at the factory. Burlington Coat Factory. They do right by me.
It's the Dodge Shadow last call. Our special allotment of extra 94 Dodge Shadows is almost gone, so you've got to hurry. And you can take advantage of $1,000 cash back, meaning you can own a new Dodge Shadow for just over $8,400. Every Shadow also comes with over 40 standard features, including power steering, power brakes, a driver's airbag, and more. Plus low down payment, on-the-spot financing, immediate delivery. So don't miss the Dodge Shadow last call. See your nearest Dodge dealer today.
Coming up at 6, he was in court again today. We'll answer questions about Ferguson's life before Tuesday's massacre.
I'm Asa Aarons. If you're traveling for the holidays, make sure your tickets are in order. I'll have the story of a family that almost didn't make it.
Coming up at 6.
Hello? Mom, where am I?
Your AT&T phone center gives you more ways to say I'm coming home. And during our holiday sale, we give you more ways to save.
Hey, Dad, just a couple more things to pick up. We'll be home soon.
Dad? I just finished packing. Leave the light on for me?
No problem, sweetheart.
AT&T phone center's holiday savings make it easy to say I'm coming home.
Police officers call him a feared gang leader, but Governor Cuomo knows him as a respected member of his Commission on Asian Affairs. Well, last night, John Miller told us about a huge crackdown on a deadly gang in Chinatown. Well, tonight, John reports one of the reputed gang leaders was also a highly regarded community leader.
This is Paul Lai. He was appointed to Governor Mario Cuomo's Governor's Asian American Advisory Committee, a group of reputable businessmen who advise the governor on issues of concern to New York's Asian American community. Yesterday, Lai was named with these men in a sweeping federal racketeering indictment that charged that he and 14 others allegedly arranged murders, arsons, kidnappings, and oversaw a street gang that carried out extortion of small businesses. Lai was a leader of the Sunjing Association, a Tong, or Chinese Community Association, one of the locations raided yesterday by New York police, the ATF, DEA, and Nassau County Police. Lai allegedly worked with Clifford Wong, a boss in the Tong'an Association. Federal authorities charged the two would order shootings of any other gang that moved in on their territory or encroached on their respect.
On one occasion, for example, Wong and Lai ordered May to have gang soldiers murder members of the rival Ghost Shadows gang after the Ghost Shadows encroached on Tong'an gang territory, causing Wong and Lai to lose face in Chinatown.
Today, Lai was at a bail hearing in Albany, where he's a well-known and politically connected restaurateur. But how did the governor's office not know of his other alleged connections to gambling and to gangs that dealt in drugs and murder? Police say in Chinatown it was no secret, but the governor's office said, as an appointee to a committee, they only knew good things about the man, and that he was charged, but not convicted. John Miller, News 4, New York.
Well, there's fear on the streets of St. Louis tonight as parents and police worry that a serial killer may be on the loose. Yesterday, the body of 10-year-old Cassidy Center was found in a downtown alley. 2 weeks ago, 9-year-old Angie Hausman was found murdered in a wooded area west of the city. 2 other girls have told police they escaped from a man who tried to pull them into his truck. The FBI now on the case.
How sweet the sound.
And last night, Joan Baez was among the stars and dignitaries, families, and friends who participated in a memorial service for 12-year-old Polly Klaas. California Senator Dianne Feinstein said Polly's abduction and murder turned the small town of Petaluma, California, into a movement and a crusade on behalf of all children victimized by violence.
Well, 6 Army Air National Guardsmen were killed today in Milwaukee after a military tanker plane exploded in flames. The plane had flown last night with no malfunctions reported, but this morning as the crew did routine maintenance work, a fire broke out and the plane blew up. No word yet on what caused the fire. The plane is a KC-135, the military version of the Boeing 707. It's used for in-flight refueling of other planes.
And a very thin and frail-looking Dr. Jack Kevorkian was wheeled into a Michigan courtroom today to face a 3rd charge of assisted suicide. The so-called Dr. Death has lost 10 pounds since his hunger strike began 11 days ago. He's protesting a Michigan law making assisted suicides a felony offense. Today's hearing deals with his presence at the death of 72-year-old woman who suffered from Lou Gehrig's disease.
Well, she's an ace on the tennis court, but she may be having just a little stroke of bad luck. Jennifer Capriati was issued a citation yesterday by police officers in Tampa, Florida. They say the 17-year-old tennis pro strolled out of a shopping mall without paying for a $15 ring. Capriati's agent said it was a mistake. Barbara Perry says Capriati was trying on rings and forgot she had left one on her finger. The citation carries no civil or criminal penalties. A Michigan judge has dismissed a lawsuit filed by a woman who claimed Magic Johnson gave her the AIDS virus. The judge said the $2 million lawsuit was dismissed at the request of both parties, and neither side is disclosing why, or saying whether the 32-year-old woman was paid to drop the suit. Magic Johnson retired from the NBA 2 years ago after revealing he had the AIDS virus.
Well, up next, Al says there is snow in the forecast. He'll have the details. Plus, Whoopi Goldberg is back in The Habit in the film Sister Act 2. Pia will tell us how the sequel compares.
And later, the story of cops and kids learning about each other. We'll be right back.
Saturday only at A&S. Get extra low sale prices store-wide. Insulate parkas, $79.99. $400 wool gabardine suits, $199. All John Henry solid dress shirts, $17.99. This bronze shaver, $28.88. This down comforter, any size, $69.99. Magnavox 19-inch color remote, $199. And more great gift buys store-wide. Saturday only at A&S. Terrific.
The biggest musical of the season has just opened on Broadway, and here are just some of the words critics are using to describe Cyrano, the musical. Sumptuous, absolutely terrific, breathtaking, ravishing, a triumph, exquisite. Cyrano, the musical, the greatest love of all. At the Neil Simon Theater, call Ticketmaster 212-307-4100.
Roy's Holiday Pack. 10 pieces of incredible chicken, plus 5 pieces of cornbread. Now just $8.99. Seasoned greetings.
Now, double cheeseburgers, regular fries, and more are just 99 cents each.
Continuous improvement through constant innovation. It's how Cadillac is creating a higher standard with America's favorite luxury sedan, the 1994 Cadillac DeVille. Completely redesigned with more than 100 newly refined features, each created to keep the driving experience as rewarding as possible. And now DeVille's newest innovation, a $469 a month lease for 24 months with $2,200 down. See your Cadillac Tri-Statesman.
Nelson Mandela and the President of South Africa today were awarded the Nobel Peace Prize for their efforts to end apartheid in their homeland. The two men accepted the honor in Oslo, Norway, to a standing ovation. African National Congress leader Nelson Mandela said he and President F.W. de Klerk represented millions of others who dared to challenge racism. The two leaders called for reconciliation in their country. They will share $790,000 in prize money. A nice ending to that story.
Very nice.
But in a sense, at the beginning of another story. All right, Al.
How about this snow thing?
The snow thing.
The rain thing.
Rain thing, snow
thing. The gloomy thing.
The gloomy thing. Not so gloomy thing. It's better. We like it. It's getting better. We really do. Let's take a look, show you what's going on out there. The tree cam. Yes, sir. Just in case you were wondering, is that Rockefeller Center tree lit right now? It is. 52 degrees, cloudy skies at Central Park. And as you take a look at the rest of the Central Park readings, currently southerly winds 12 miles per hour. Relative humidity 69%. Barometer is falling. High for the day right around tri-state area conditions. 54 Morristown and Atlantic City. Central Park and Islip share temperature 52. White Plains 51. Bridgeport currently 53. Now the high-low for the day 54. Drop at 10. You've got the low at 44. There's your sunrise and your sunset. Around the country today, well, we've got a lot of wet weather working its way into the East Coast. Some light snow around the Great Lakes, frigid in the plains, and wet weather working its way into the Northwest with some of the upper elevations looking at snow. Here's what's going on with that storm system. First of all, Doppler 4 shows you we do have a few light showers now starting to work their way into northwestern New Jersey, also into Rockland and Orange counties, and those showers will be moving their way east. And as we go up top, take a look down on the clouds. Here's what's going on. Low pressure is going to form, but it's going to form much further south than we thought and move out into the Atlantic. So we will be looking at some wet weather as another system forms right on top of us and moves out. And what that will do is bring in some moisture around it, dragging in with it colder air. And so we'll have rain tonight, on into tomorrow morning, starting to taper off, and then the backside of that low pressure system bringing in the cooler air. We do look for a few snow flurries late tomorrow on into maybe Sunday morning, and that'll be the worst of it. So our forecast for tonight, rainy, windy, overnight lows upper 30s in the northern and western suburbs, mid 40s to low 40s everywhere else. Tomorrow morning, rain and wind continues with temperatures upper 30s to the low 40s. Rest of the day tomorrow for you looks like this. We're going to call for variably cloudy skies, a spritz left over along the coast, north and west, maybe a snowflake or two, but look at those temperatures slowly falling from the 40s from overnight into the 30s for tomorrow. And of course now, time for the tidbit. Now that the colder weather is here, our tidbit examines a little bit of advice you hear every year at this time. You know how Mom used to tell you to wear a hat when you go outside? Well, we'd like to know how much of your body heat is lost if you don't cover your head with a hat or scarf. Now, you've heard some folks say as much as 90%. What do you think? How much body heat is lost through your head if you don't wear a hat or a scarf?
Do we consider whether one has a full head of hair, whether one is bald?
Well, this is...
you want to guess now?
I know the answer. Okay.
I say 80%. 80%.
I'm not guessing because I was right once and everybody got mad at me.
You're really running this into the ground now.
Well, that's my personality.
Oh, okay,
Thank
there you go.
All right. Coming up, you'll get over the embarrassment before you get over the cost. When Live at 5 continues, follow the bouncing check. We'll tell you how to save money on those soaring bank fees.
And you might want to spend it on Michael Crawford's new album. The original voice of the Phantom of the Opera joins us live right here. Stay with us.
You'd never recognize.
Experience the power of femininity. Oscar de la Renta.
This gift of Superactivate Treatment Concentrate, parfum, dusting powder, and bath powder is yours with any $40 Oscar de la Renta fragrance purchase. Now at Macy's.
At Bally's, you lift and lift, or stretch and stretch, or even win and win. Just come into Bally's and enter to win a new Dodge Stealth RT or a Club Med Vacation. And to join Bally's for just $18 a month with no payments until 1994, call America's favorite health club now at 1-800-WORKOUT. Guess this is what you'd call a win-win offer.
Giving beats everything, and nobody beats the Wiz.
Remember all the wonderful moments that make Christmas what it is with an Olympus camera from Nobody Beats the Wiz. The fully automatic stylus is just $119. The Infinity Zoom 2000 with 240-step autofocus is $169. The weatherproof stylus zoom is $189, and the IS2 zoom lens reflex is $469. For Christmas, as always, nobody beats the Wiz.
Coming up on News 4 New York at 6.
We have a breaking story tonight on Manhattan's Upper East Side. Police say two well-dressed robbers are targeting women at some of the city's finest restaurants. At 6, we'll tell you how they operate and what you can do to protect yourself. We'll have a live report. And it was supposed to be a joyous reunion, but when one family put their trust in a travel agent, their plans turned into a nightmare. Asa Aarons is on the case. Can he save their vacation? We'll tell you at 6.
On behalf of the people at Loco, I'm pleased to inform you that we're asking the Public Service Commission to freeze Loco's electric rates for the next 2 years. We've been able to hold down rates by refinancing our corporate debt, purchasing power and fuel at the lowest possible cost, and reducing operating costs. These efforts have helped make it possible to assure you that Loco will not increase base electric rates for the next 2 years. At Loco, holding down rates means good service.
For bounce to check knows the routine. You overdraw, the bank charges you a stiff penalty. Now, one consumer group has looked at the bank's balance sheet, and as News 4's Steve Handelsman reports, they've found those rubber checks are filled with gold.
Writing a bad check has always been embarrassing, and the cost in cash was $10 to $15. But that bounced check fee is bouncing up, and fast.
Now, the national average for the charge is $18.35, and in many cities, it's more than $25. Critics charge that's far too much.
The Consumer Federation of America says banks are billing customers 9 times more for bounced checks than what the checks cost the banks. CFA's Chris Lewis says it's a stick-up.
Bounce checks are an outright cash cow, a real profit center for the banking industry. They are charging whatever the traffic will bear, and consumers, frankly, are having their pockets picked.
CFA says banks are using traps to make more in fees, processing customers' largest check first, bouncing lots of little checks instead of one big one, charging higher fees on free or no-frill checking accounts. Bank spokesperson Karen Thomas pleads not guilty. She says high fees are to discourage bouncing checks.
I say that, yes, customers do need to be deterred from the practice, and banks do need to recoup their costs of bounced checks.
What to do? Don't write checks before your bank has credited your deposits. Seek a fee waiver if you've overdrawn your account. Get a checking account with overdraft protection. And remember, if you never bounce a check, they can't get you. I'm Steve Handelsman, News 4, Washington.
The Pentagon today announced huge cutbacks in the Army, National Guard, and Reserves. Defense Secretary Les Aspin wants to cut nearly 100,000 people from the Reserve and National Guard ranks by the year 2000. Aspin calls it closing an old chapter and opening a new chapter in the post-Cold War world.
Our plan means that the Guard's principal mission will be to prepare for wartime combat and to remain ready to provide peacetime domestic emergency assistance. Our plan also means that the principal mission of the reserves is to provide wartime combat support and combat service support.
Before my mouth exploded, I was trying to say post-Cold War world, which is not that easy to say. At any rate, 20,000 people are expected to leave the Guard through attrition next year.
Are they finally headed down the aisle? Cindy Adams has the info on a big wedding for one of New York's hottest couples.
And Whoopi Goldberg is back in the convent. Pia takes her laugh meter to Sister Act, Part 2.
Invest in their future. It is our duty.
Christmas is coming. Big news, it's Fisher-Price Week.
All toys in the Fisher-Price Toy Center are 20% off. This all-in-one kitchen set's on sale this week for $59.99.
This Christmas, guys, we're the Fisher-Price headquarters.
Caldor, bring home the difference.
Today, Topsy takes the competition for a ride.
Topsy here to show you how Top's low prices are going to drive the competition out of town. I even got a ride for him. Forget about it.
They'll miss a Sony 5-disc CD changer for $144, this RCA remote VCR for $166, or this Apple Performer computer for $988. Oh, too bad.
Forget about it. You got to be happy at Top's. Satisfaction guaranteed.
Continuous improvement through constant innovation. It's how Cadillac is creating a higher standard with America's favorite luxury sedan, the 1994 Cadillac DeVille. Completely redesigned with more than 100 newly refined features, each created to keep the driving experience as rewarding as possible. And now DeVille's newest innovation, a $469 a month lease for 24 months with $2,200 down. See your Cadillac Tri-Statesman.
Morning, Christmas is around the corner. What do we got?
Spring's bed in a bag. It comes with a comforter, sheets, shams, and a dust ruffle. All for just $57.77, any size, even king.
Let's make it a great day.
Caldor, bring home the difference.
And you thought you'd have nothing to chat about during dinner. Well, our Duchess of Dreck, Cindy Adams, Madam Adams, is here with details of a big wedding. Well, she's a wonderful person, but she deserves nicknames.
Whoa, Donald and Marla, do not ask me, Donald and Marla, who are doing it. Getting married, that is. A blessing on their heads, mazel tov, mazel tov. It's December 20, the Plaza Hotel. The ceremony will be a small little affair, just maybe 2,000 of their nearest and closest who will get invited next week. The wedding will be in the cozy grand ballroom, the reception buffet, not seated in the center of the hotel, in the lobby's palm court. Donald's best man is his father, Fred, standing up for Marla, her friend Janie Elder. Officiating will be Dr. Arthur Caliandro of Marble Collegiate, where the two of them in their early days held Bibles, also hands. The bride will wear Carolina Herrera. Donald's 3 older children will be present. Sue will not be invited, and they are not sure of baby Tiffany's appearance yet. It is black tie. Donald might even spring for a new tux for the event. Listen, it's a special time. Not every day you get married for a second shot.
Right.
Immediately afterwards, the newlywed Trump and Trumpet will take a honeymoon. They'll go skiing in Colorado, where you might recall it all hit the fan and the headlines at exactly this time in the year of our Lord, 1989. So why's the guy finally doing it? Hey, why not? As he and I have often talked about it, they're together 5 years. They made a baby, they begat. When he went downhill and some, as he put it, creeps turned their backs and wallets on him, she stuck. I was at Donald's first wedding. I know him a long time. We talk. He said, look at the bleeping world around us. It ain't so terrific out there. And as he also put it, it's an AIDS-infested world, and this woman is beautiful and loyal, and she stayed with me when it was tough, and she loves me. Also, and Lord knows I don't wish to miss the romantic side of this, the about-to-be former Miss Marla Maples of Georgia finally signed the prenup.
Now, nowhere in that little bit of stuff did I hear him say he loved her very much.
Well, he's fond of her.
Cindy,
He
no.
loves her. He loves her. Duchess of Dreck. He loves her.
Oh, all right. Okay,
Yes.
that makes me feel a little better.
Thank you very
And
much.
people
He
should
loves
know
her.
that Duchess of Dreck was Cindy's line. She dared Sue to say
No,
it.
not I. You lie. You
And
lie.
you don't do that.
Oh, how terrible of
Oh.
you.
Never dare the Suzer,
No,
Madam
she'd
Adams.
never dare. Never do that. Ever.
Mercy.
Thanks.
Thank you.
In any event, Whoopi Goldberg's back in the spotlight. She's got a new movie. Actually, it's a follow-up to her recent super hit. It's called Sister Act 2. Pia Lindstrom's here to tell us whether or not it's a heavenly humor or it's becoming a bad habit.
Oh, very good.
Well,
Somewhere in the middle.
I didn't write that
That's
either.
good. That's good. You know, I just saw this movie on Broadway on 46th Street. There were about 150 kids in the audience. It was some sort of school trip, and they cheered and they screamed and they sang along with Whoopi. So there is an audience out there for this movie, even if Sister Act 2 isn't as good as the first.
Whoopi Goldberg dons the habit and returns to St. Francis High School at the request of the Mother Superior to try and tame the wild teenagers and save the school from closure.
I got the flow. Y'all gotta go. So go get your bags so we can go. Ho, ho.
The sisters have disguised the Las Vegas lounge singer's past by claiming she worked at a woman's prison. Can she fool Barnard Hughes as a gullible priest? You bet.
Yeah, no, the prison was really rough on me, and so I've been trying to wipe this experience from my mind because it was so traumatic for me.
Really?
Yes.
They led me to believe that you enjoyed it.
Well, yes, I did. It was a traumatic enjoyment of an experience that I should not have had.
It's a bit of a tangle, this screenplay that seems thrown together from old ideas. Bill Duke, who directed A Rage in Harlem and Deep Cover, tries to jazz up the proceedings, but the movie lacks its predecessor's surprising charm. I won't be revealing anything because there are no surprises here anyway when I tell you that the kids end up going to the choir state championship.
Well, the best thing about the movie is the enthusiastic and energetic young performers. Particularly good, the beautiful 18-year-old Lauren Hill. She plays the class rebel. Well, this is innocent fun. The worst thing these kids do is put glue on the nuns' chairs. It's refreshing and it's needed entertainment for parents and children. On our scale of 4, Sister Act 2 gets 2 halos.
All righty. Thank you, Pia.
Thank you.
Broadway's original Phantom of the Opera, Michael Crawford, will be joining us in a little bit, and we'll also show you how cops and kids are learning to get along in one of New York's toughest neighborhoods.
And better late than never, Len Berman has a story of the man who left his legacy. Now he's getting his due. Next on Sports, live at 5.
Introducing your Toyota dealer's holiday lease packages. The 1994 Toyota Camry. And the 1994 Toyota Corolla. This holiday season, open one up.
At the Home Depot, we constantly train our employees to be better employees, to give better customer service. We carry all kinds of products. Anything that you would probably need to redo your house with, chances are we're going to have it. Like this American-made Husky tool set with a lifetime guarantee. It's got a great price for the holidays. And so does this Skill FlexiCharge Super Twist cordless screwdriver kit. And we do everything we can as a team to help our customers to have a good experience in our store. That's the most important thing to us, period.
I think country music's about style. People can relate to it. It's like saying, yeah, I felt that. I just didn't know how to say it. Good taste never goes out of style.
Ibel watches at Torno Corner with 3 convenient New York locations. What does it take to be the world's most popular musical? It takes a cast of characters you will never forget.
caught up in the triumph and tragedy, the passion and redemption, the hope and glory of an unforgettable story. It takes heart-stopping music and a blazing production of epic scope and soaring imagination. But mostly it takes the love of people everywhere, the people who come to see it again and again. Les Miserables, the world's most popular musical.
Sometime next week, I promise. I could really use a vacation.
Come and discover the continent of Puerto Rico. Discover the warmth of our tropical beaches, the wonders of our natural beauty, the legends of our centuries-old cities, and the challenges of everything you've ever wanted to do. Only a continent could offer so many great vacation experiences. Only Puerto Rico puts it all within your reach.
'Tis the season to be jolly.
You bet.
And get the answer to the tidbit?
Yeah, we'll do that first, but we've got some rain moving through as a cold front comes in. Take a look. Doppler 4, our live exclusive radar. You can see we've got some heavy showers and maybe even a thunderstorm or two in Sparta, also Morristown. That's moving to the east, and then we'll see a little more rain come in tomorrow night. Now, for tomorrow, we are looking for some snow around western New York, wet weather from the mid-Atlantic states all the way into New England, and out west, they've got a pretty vigorous storm system moving in as well. For us, the rain will begin tonight and then move on in through tomorrow. As the day wears on and temperatures start to fall back, we look for a mix of rain, maybe a little snowflake or two, especially north and west. Variably cloudy and windy. Then on Sunday, still maybe a morning flurry or two. Variably cloudy skies, 35. Monday, fair, 43. Warming up on Tuesday, partly sunny, 49. Wednesday, variably cloudy, chance of a shower, and a temperature of 52 degrees. So we got some wet stuff tonight, on into tomorrow, and then a little bit of clearing, cooler weather, and a snowflake or two. Okay, time now for the answer to today's cold weather tidbit. We wanted to know if you really lose a lot of body heat when you venture outside without a hat on. The answer? Well, Mom was very close to the mark. Experts have studied the matter and found that you do indeed lose between 50 to 75% of your body heat if you do not cover your head. Don't cover your head. Our hat's on to those of you who had the correct answer.
Suppose you have a really big head, though.
Then
It could be higher.
I guess it could be. That's right. Small head, less. Bald, probably more.
There you go. Thank you, Al.
I've had enough to say in this program. I think I'll just sort of